In this video, I'm going to show you how to multiply radical expressions. The square root of 2 times the square root of 3 is equal to the square root of 6. This should look to you like the product rule we learned for simplifying expressions. What would the square root of 10 times the square root of 50 be equal to? Well, we could first say that it's equal to the square root of 500, but I would want to simplify that. So I would start by breaking 500 up into its factors. And I know that 50 times 10 is the square root of 500. So I'm sort of back where I started. That would mean it might have been better when I'm multiplying square roots to start by factoring them. The square root of 10 times the square root of 50, which is 5 times 10. And I could have written the square root of 10 as the square root of 2 times 5. Well, to simplify this, there's a pair of 2's here, so that'll make 2, and a pair of 5's, which will be 5, and there's one 5 left over. So the answer is 2 times 5 is 10 times the square root of 5. Okay, so multiplying radicals, we use similar rules that we've already been using. The product rule is important when we're multiplying radicals. And we'll probably also need to be able to do the quotient rule. For example, if I wanted to multiply 5 times the square root of 1/2, well, I might have to think about this as the square root of 5 over 1 times the square root of 1 over the square root of 2. That would give me the square root of 5 in the numerator over the square root of 2. And remember that we always have to rationalize the denominator. And so I'm going to multiply by the radical in the denominator, so root 2 over root 2, to get the square root of 10 over 2. Okay, so that's just multiplying radicals by each other. What if you had an expression like 3 root 2 times 2 root 6? Well, to start with, know that this expression really means 3 times the square root of 2 times 2 times the square root of 6. And again, we saw that it was helpful if we factored these first, so I'm going to think of root 2 times root 3. Well, it's important when we do multiplication that you remember the properties of multiplication. And so I'm going to give you an example. 2 times 3 times 4 is, let's see, 2 times 3 is 6, times 4 is 24, is the same as 2 times 4 times 3, in which case I would do 2 times 4 first, which is 8. Then 8 times 3 is 24. In any order, when we're multiplying, we can multiply in any order. Well, if that's true, then I should be able to do this multiplication in the best order possible. So I'll move the 2 up to the front and think about the 2's being one after the other, and then the 3 at the end. And let's see, I know 2 times 3, that's 6. And the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is 2. And I don't have anything to pair up with the square root of 3. So this is going to be equal to 12 times the square root of 3. Let's do one more example. Let's multiply 4 root 50 times 5 root 12. Again, I'm going to start by just factoring all of my square roots. So root 50 is going to be, let's see, 25 times 2, or 5 times 5 times 2 would be 50, times 5, root 12, and that's 2 and 2 and 3 for 12. Well, let's see, I have if I rearrange the order, then I'd have 4 times 5 times, we'll put the 2's first, and then the 3, and then the 5's. And I'm just going to make sure that I have everything. I have my 4 and the 5's. I should have 3 2's. 1, 2. Oops, I only got 2 of them. So I'm going to make a little more space. Make sure that I get all of the factors there. And that was the 3. I had a 3 and 2 pairs of 2 5's. Okay, so I have all the factors right. So let's see. These two 2's are going to make a 2, and these two 5's are going to make a 5. So when I multiply, I'm going to have 4 times 5, which is 20, times 2 times 5. So 20 times 2 is 40, times 5 is 200. Under the radical, I'm still going to have a 2 and a 3, so I'm going to have 200 root 6, and that's the answer when I multiply 4 root 50 times 5 root 12.